Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the best animated shows ever, so far, with MC and Troy.
I'm Troy.
And I'm MC. And this is the best animated shows ever. So far. And today we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle Tracks.
That's right. I'm excited to get into Turtles. But MC, you forgot to say that this is the show where we watch, discuss, and rank every animated show ever. Eventually. It's the second unnecessary ellipsis in the intro of our show, and you forgot about it. I'm disappointed.
I was just so excited to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm really excited to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I do have to give a shout out here because I feel like in being a podcast breaking down the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this is a weird one for me because we're stepping on toes that I do listen to. Have you listened to the Turtle Power Pod?
I have not.
The Turtle Power Pod is great. It's two dudes, Cranny and Basim, and they go through and they do commentary tracks kind of on every episode of Turtles. So they'll like play the episode for the first time. They haven't watched it. They hit play and then they pause it when they have something to say. And then they hit play again and then they pause it again when they have something to say. And you can watch the whole things on YouTube. And then their most recent ones, they do like slightly edited down versions on the podcast feed. But it's great. I really love Turtle Power Pod. I did not go back and listen to their episodes about these first episodes because I didn't want to be influenced by their reviews of them. But I wanted to give them a shout out because they're super cool. But before we talk about the episode 1 Turtle Tracks MC, we gotta talk about behind the scenes stuff.
Okay.
Now, I know I said we'd probably end up doing less behind the scenes stuff because it feels like I'm kind of scraping the barrel lately, but we gotta talk about the Ninja Turtles. So the Ninja Turtles, of course, started in comic book form in a comic book by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. But I was reading a little bit about the origin of the comic, and it makes me really happy. So this is a quote from the Wikipedia page about the comic. It says, "The concept arose from a humorous drawing sketched out by Eastman during a casual evening of brainstorming and bad television with Laird." And I read that, and I was like, I like these guys. I feel like they would have been fun to hang out with in the early 80s.
We pretty much did that when we sort of lived together as well.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's how the Kai shirt came about.
The which one?
The Kai, the Deep Space Nine one.
Yeah, the Opaka is my homegirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man, I love that. I'm like a casual evening of brainstorming and bad television. Like, hell yeah, you guys rock. That is exactly how people should spend their casual evenings. So the comic book came out. The comic book was very dark and wasn't hugely popular. It came out in 1984.
Well,
do you know what made
it is kind of dealing with like heavy topics like radioactive waste and like mutations and all that sort of stuff. So, and then there's ninjas thrown in on top of that. Like ninjas aren't like. Have you heard of a black egg?
No.
It's a ninja device. It's essentially an egg that's been like hollowed out, painted black, and filled with glass shards. And they threw it in people's faces.
Ow.
Yeah, ninjas are not people who around. I'm sorry if I'm giving you work.
That sounds bad. I had not heard of that. Well, okay. We're going to have to talk about ninjas a little bit in this episode because I have questions and or concerns about ninjas. But first, the Turtles gained in popularity because they were like, hey, yo, dog, somebody, I didn't write down his name, was like, yo, hey, you guys, this comic you write, this little funny book, it's pretty good, but you know what you should do? Toys. That's the big thing. And so they went to a toy company, and the toy company was like, it's a little dark, though. What if you made a cartoon? So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the cartoon, was explicitly made in order for them to strike up a toy deal with a toy company. I kind of love that. So there's this phrase, toyetic. Have you heard that term?
No, I haven't heard the term, but I believe, I'm going to guess, it's sort of like what happened with Masters of the Universe, where a cartoon was created to sell a toy, much like Transformers and a few other things as well.
It's partially when something's created specifically to sell toys, but it's also it goes into like superhero movies a lot. Like toyetic, the concept of toyetic is why superheroes always wear multiple costumes in one movie, because that way you can sell toys of all the different costumes that they wear. So
okay.
So if something is toyetic, it's how well you can make toys out of it. And I just like that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they were like, listen, the conversation was, we want to make some toys, but first you need to make a TV show. Okay, fine. I guess we'll make a TV show so that we can get some action figures. And then the TV show ended up becoming, freaking massive. And the toys as well became massive too.
Well, I remember having heaps of the Ninja Turtle toys as a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, I had even the ones like that had like the weird actions and stuff, like where you could plug a manhole into the back of one of them and they would do like a shell spin, and there was like crazy arm actions, and
they did like
I had all those,
every costume available. So it'd be like,
oh yeah,
Raphael in his trench coat, Raphael in a ninja gi, Raphael in a samurai outfit for some reason, Raphael in an Old West outfit. It's like, okay, I get it. Raphael wears a lot of cool clothes.
My favorite was the Tall Krang. It was like a 9 or 10-inch Krang figurine.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, but Krang used to come out of the robot body.
That's cool.
Yeah. I remember that. I didn't have it. I wanted it really badly, but... And my other favorite one were the... It's like the mouse robot thingies.
The mousers.
Yeah. Those things, they get destroyed endlessly in the TV show and the video game. Mm-hmm. But you get like that they looked a little big, and they looked funny, and I just enjoyed like the characteristics of like the mouses, like how they looked and felt when you played with them, even though they were like massively outsized for like the size of your normal figurines.
I always love that when like it's like these are part of the same franchise, but they just couldn't figure out how to make the size work between the toys.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Don't worry about it. Cool. I think that's enough behind the scenes stuff for now. We'll talk more next time. I got some notes about the writers and about the voice actors, of course. But for now, let's get into Season 1, Episode 1, Turtle Tracks, which premiered on December 14th, 1987. And it starts on a dark day in New York City as a crime wave sweeps across the streets. There's some cool looking punks stealing a lot of technology, maybe. We don't really know. But then they were doing a report and they're like, this wasn't punks. This rope could only have been cut by a samurai sword. I don't know how you can tell that from a cut rope.
That was the door.
Was it the door?
Rope had the rope was ninja rope because it was made in Japan.
I like the idea of ninja rope.
Yeah.
Wait.
But one of my favorite scenes is when the punks are going around destroying cars and doing vandalism and stuff. There's a guy reading the paper, just out at night reading a paper, and he gets spray painted, and when he leaves, he just leaves a man-shaped impression on the wall where the spray painting was happening.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good, like, small, quiet visual gags in this, and I'm very appreciative of them.
And April's out doing her report about these crime waves at scientific places, research labs or something.
I'm gonna pause you. Hang on, because this is gonna break my brain. Otherwise, there's a song that's something about ninja something. What the is it?
Just Google that stuff, yeah, Google that stuff, yeah, Google that stuff all day long. Google that stuff, yeah, Google that stuff, yeah, Google that stuff all day long.
Oh, it is Ninja Rope. It's Ninja Rope from the commentary, the musicals commentary soundtrack to Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog. There's a song called The Ninja Rope about the game Ninja Rope. You said Ninja Rope earlier. I haven't really been listening to anything you've said since then because I've been trying to think of what that song is. It's Ninja Rope from Commentary the Musical. So anyway, what show are we talking about?
We're talking about how April O'Neil's doing a report about robberies at like labs or something, stealing scientific equipment, research equipment.
And she brings her super cool camera crew with her, which includes Jerry Seinfeld, I'm pretty sure. And then a bunch of goons come to rob them.
Well, first, the producer or whatever, the Jerry Seinfeld looking guy, he's like, come on, we're packing up, we're getting out of this bad neighborhood. And then we get the punks rocking up with them saying... but we get a glimpse of Shredder, I'm pretty sure. Like, his
just
hand
like
or
his
something.
gauntlet.
It's like it's like a claw moment from in the show.
Inspector Gadget needs to be on the list.
Oh yeah, but then all the punks show up and the crew essentially runs away, and April's just standing there by herself, and she grabs the camera and throws it at them and says "catch," and then runs down the street, dives, and then slips into the gutter, into the drain system.
Just accidentally. Just poof, I'm in the sewers now.
She slides right in. Like, those are really small gaps. She didn't lift up the grate.
Very small.
Yeah. Like, she didn't lift up the grate. And the punks come in and try and get the grate up, and they can't. And they find a manhole, and they go down that to chase her. And that's when we're introduced to the Turtles. They show up to save April while she's down in the sewers.
So there's two things I want to call out here. First is, I think the punks talk about being sent in by Shredder.
They say the boss. They don't mention him by name. But they just say the boss.
The boss is like wanting April to back off on reporting about these robberies. And then number two is these punks, MC, look so good. I love every one of them in terms of their outfits, but also in terms of facial designs. They all just look awesome. I'm into it.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, Bebop and Rocksteady are so good. I like their human form. But I also really like that I wrote a note that said, I said, dude, these criminals have a great sense of style. And then right after I said that, or right after I wrote that, one of the turtles was like, whoa, look at these guys. They sure know how to dress. And I was like, hey, turtles, stop calling out me praising their sense of style, you jerks. I thought they looked cool.
Well, I can't remember how Bebop and Rocksteady get turned into the Rhino and...
Oh, we'll find out next week on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then the episode ends.
Yeah. But Bebop and Rocksteady are actually in the punk group.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's next episode. I watched the whole first season because this show's very good.
Yeah.
But we'll find out next week how they get turned.
Okay.
And how they get turned. I don't really know what that word means.
Turned?
Yeah. That's
drunk.
I thought I should say it, but I don't really know what it means.
Or like high.
It's
like
something I see
sober.
young people saying on the internet.
Yeah.
It scares me. I don't know what they're talking about.
What's even scarier is I do know what they're talking about.
We need to find a young person to be our young person correspondent to help translate young person things for us.
Okay. I'm definitely not going to be in charge of that since I'm the older one who has no idea how to go about making friends at all.
I don't either. We need to find our dip. Angus MacDonald. We need to find an Angus MacDonald to be the world's greatest detective of things young people say.
I'm like, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? You're talking about Taz.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been reading through the second graphic novel, and Angus MacDonald's in it, and he's very good. He's a very good boy, and I hear Griffin's
he's the
voice
best
in my
boy.
head every time he talks. Hey, what were we talking about?
I think we're supposed to be talking about how the Turtles rock up and they pretty much beat the punks soundly, and Shredder's like, "What are they?"
What are these creatures? That's not a good Shredder. It's a little higher. No, it's not that. I'm gonna have to listen to Shredder talk some more and get a Shredder for next week.
Yeah, but essentially because they're turtles, April faints
Right.
at seeing them, and they sort of take her back to their lair, which, if you're a bunch of mutant turtle ninjas, you don't really take a reporter back to your lair, do you?
Well,
And they
she's
all
already
know she's
seen
a
them.
reporter.
Presumably, if they didn't take her back to deal with her in some fashion, then she would just bring an army of newsmen down into the sewers, and it would have been like in Batman Dark Knight Rises when the army of police go into the sewers, and they would have been trapped. Except for the turtles planned it all along, and then they would have set off explosives in the concrete all around the city and trapped the army of reporters underground so that they could rise up and control the city. I think I got lost.
I'm sure that's a Foot Clan thing, not a Turtles thing.
Hey, I remembered something I forgot to mention earlier. They talk about ninjas, and they're like, the 1,000-year-old clan of assassins, the ninjas. And I was like, is that what ninja is? I don't think ninjas is a clan of assassins. It's
No.
It's a thing. It's not a clan of assassins.
No,
And
they
then
are
later
assassins.
they're like the foot soldiers, and I'm like, that would make more sense to talk about the 1,000-year-old clan of assassins here, not
Yeah.
about ninjas as a whole. So they're having pizza.
Yeah, except Splinter brings actually Splinter introduces himself and she faints again.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wake her up and she has tea and sashimi, I believe they say. And Splinter gives her that, and the boys are digging into pizza, and she's like, "Ew, gross! How could you eat that?"
To be fair,
they're like,
their pizza is gross. They're eating pepperoni
Yeah.
and mushroom pizza, and also jelly bean and mushroom pizza. What the hell is
isn't-
this?
"Isn't there like banana and peanut butter or something?"
That's later on. There's a banana-based pizza. There's some whipped cream pizzas. I never realized this before. The turtles don't like pizza. The turtles like garbage stoner food, and it never
Yeah.
occurred to me before. Because in the movies, I watched a lot of the cartoon, but I've watched the movies more as you know, an older child and an
Recently,
adult.
yeah.
And in the movies, they just eat pepperoni pizza, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But in the cartoon, they eat nasty stuff.
They have
Ugh.
plain cheese pizza as well in the movies.
I think you're right. Yeah, they just like pizza in the movies.
Yeah, and buddy, the movies were spectacular for their time as well. Like guys in suits. There's some scenes where you can see the guy's eyes in the suit in like
Through
the
the
first
mouth.
one, or first or second movie you can see it. I think they got a little bit weirder when they got to the TV show. Do you remember that? The live
When they
action
got
TV show?
Oh God, don't speak. We don't speak of that. MC, we're not here to talk about movies. We're here to talk about cartoons.
Yeah, so they're having their pizza that they say, ew, raw fish.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I'm going to go report on you guys being ninjas. You've obviously done these, the thieving. And then Splinter's like, no, hold on. Let me tell you the story of how we became who we are. And
yeah, he's
it
like,
goes
listen,
about...
lady, I've worked really hard on this epic backstory, and you're going to listen to it, okay?
And Splinter starts telling a story about Himado Yoshi.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm saying that right. And how he got tricked by Oroku Saki in front of a very important teacher. And he got kicked out of the Foot Clan and came to New York and was living in the sewer with the rats, who he made friends with, in exile as repentance. And then one day, some kid drops 4 turtles on his head.
Some
and he
kid named Matt
starts
Murdock, please. Matt Murdock. Wait, no, Matt Murdock ran in front of the bus that caused the toxins to spill. He wasn't the one with the turtles. My bad.
And then a while later, after Himado Roshi is taking care of these turtles, as well as some rats, some toxic ooze finds its way into the sewer. And then because the mutagen in the toxin causes whatever animal you last interacted with to merge with your DNA. For the turtles, it was a human, Himado Roshi, and for Himado Roshi, it was a rat, which turned him into Splinter.
Doesn't it seem weird that the last thing that they touched was him, but the last thing he touched was them? Because shouldn't he have turned into a turtle too?
No. See, here's the thing. He was playing with the rats before that.
Uh-huh.
And he had to walk through the toxin, the ooze, to get to the turtles. So it was already in contact with his skin before he got to the turtles. So the last animal he was in contact with was the rat.
Gotcha. Because he had... Okay.
Yeah, then he picked up the turtles.
This checks out. I have a couple things I want to talk about with the Foot Clan's history. One, I love the way that he was betrayed, because the dude sitting next to him pulls out a knife behind Himado Yoshi's back, and you're like, oh man, Himado Yoshi's gonna get stabbed. And then the guy pins his shirt to the wall, and that's how he gets him kicked out, because he can't bow down in front of the master. I think that's very cute. I like that. 2.
And then when he pulls it out, the guards are like, you're trying to kill the master? No, we just have...
Which
oh
is
my God.
dumb, but...
Hirokusaki is an asshole.
2. Hirokusaki is Shredder, right?
Yeah, it is Shredder.
Number 2. Racist Japanese caricatures. Not super great in the animation style. I like the character design in Ninja Turtles for the most part, but every Japanese character in here looks like a Japanese character from a World War II cartoon, and that's not very good.
I don't really think that. Like, Oroku Saki and Himado Yoshi aren't really... Like, they have definite, like, more
they
modern...
look like people?
Yeah, they look like a more modern, like, actual animated Japanese people.
That's true.
There are some caricatures in there. I will admit that.
Yeah.
And they're pretty bad. But it was the year I was born. It was over 30 years ago.
I know, but still. Point number
bad.
3. When Himado Yoshi was kicked out, turns out he was the only saving grace of the Foot Clan. And as soon as he was kicked out, the Foot Clan turned totally evil. And the way that the cartoon shows us the Foot Clan turned totally evil is it shows a Foot Clan dude hop down and land next to a soda vending machine. And then he does like a spinning high kick to get free sodas from the soda vending machine. Oh, the evilness, the travesty, the horror.
I mean, they also robbed that dude who they scared into throwing an ice cream cone on his head.
Okay, listen, they do evil things. I'm just saying that the first example they give us is that he robs a vending machine. It's kind of silly.
I mean, yeah.
I wish that the camera had lingered there for a couple seconds longer, so it turned into like a Coca-Cola ad where he then picked up one of the cans of Coke and then held it up in front of the camera and went...
That would have made it perfect. But we can't have that. Everything. But yeah, essentially, it's like, as soon as Himado Yoshi is kicked out, as soon as Splinter is kicked out, essentially, Shredder turns the whole organization into a criminal one. And the ninjas go about robbing and killing, I guess.
All kinds of bad things. Stealing all kinds of sodas.
But then they're like, now you know our story, to April, and they're all eating pizza still, and it's like, well, we better work out what we're going to do with you, since we can't have you going out in the world and telling everyone that we exist.
I really like this episode, and I like this show, but I feel like what are we going to do with April goes on for so long, and it's probably like 43 seconds, but it feels like it goes on forever.
You know why that is? It's because they cut it up into two different scenes, and in the middle of those two scenes, in the middle of those two scenes is the scene with the boss and the producer who was out on the shoot with her, and he's like, "Oh no, she wasn't one of your best reporter," and it's like, second best reporter, and he's like, "Well, third best," and it's
what the
like,
hell was that?
Wow.
Why did they need to like in the middle of the April's missing scene be like, "Well, we got to knock the lady down a couple pegs"? What was that?
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, are we going to meet the first and second best reporters? No, we just have to make sure it's clear that she's not one of the best reporters.
And that's why this scene of working out what to do with April seems so long, because there's like a 30-second clip in the middle of it where there's two douchebags talking about being douchebags, essentially, towards this very lovely lady who's just out trying to do a job as a hard-hitting reporter. And then when they get back, Mikey just yells out, "She can stay with us forever," and everyone's like, "That's not gonna work. Ugh. We just gotta go track
keep
down
her
the
in prison
thieves
for the rest of her life."
And then the solution is, hey, if we track down the thieves for you and you do your story, can you help us out by like not reporting on us and trying to help us find a way to get Splinter back to being human? Because I don't think he likes being a giant rat.
I like that. I like that they have like an overarching quest that they're on. Like the Turtles' mission is to get Shredder back to human. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That like gives them a reason to get involved with this stuff. It's not just because they happen to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did you know that in the UK and other parts of Europe, they're not called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I know about this. I know about this because of Achievement Hunter, and Gavin Free is from England, so he's talked about this.
The Teenage Hero Ninja Turtles, because there was a stigma against mutant, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're like, where should we go? And then they find like a matchbook, I think, that says Ninja Pizza on it, and they're like, that's where we'll go.
No. Before that, there's the scene with the gang with Shredder.
Okay.
Where it's just like, go out and find those reptiles or whatever attacked you. And April O'Neil. Oh, yeah. He doesn't even mention the turtles. In fact, I think he's questioning them about it. And he's like, were they reptiles? And that they're all like, I guess. I don't really remember. And he's like, well, get out there and find April O'Neil. We got to stop her from making those reports and figuring out where the one robbing the scientific labs for their research materials.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the scene with the matchbook for Ninja Pizza. And the boys are all about it. They're like, come on, let's go up to the surface and get our Ninja Pizza. We want our pizza.
And they're like, don't worry, April, we can be on the surface just fine because we've studied humans through movies. And she's like, this is a terrible idea. But okay, let's do it.
And then the first thing that happens is they get up to the surface and there's an old lady. And she pulls out a machine gun.
Such a big machine gun. It's the biggest machine gun, and she's the tiniest, oldest lady. And she has a massive machine gun.
And she's like, get away from me, you freaks. And she's holding a machine gun on them. And they all just back away slowly. And then April sees a late night men's clothing store. Or all night clothing store, I should say. Which is the weirdest thing ever. And she gets 4 trench coats and 4 fedoras.
Because then no one will be able to tell that they have turtle faces.
And Raph does a terrible, what's his name?
Humphrey Bogart, right?
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart impression from Casablanca.
Here's looking at you, kid.
And then they're on their way
to all the pizza of all the pizza joints. Wait, I don't remember how that line goes. Shoot.
All the pizza joints in all the world, why did she have to walk into mine?
Yeah, there. See, it works. But you got to do it like this, MC. Do it again, but like this. Do it, MC.
I can't do that voice.
There you go, right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Of all the pizza joints in the world, why'd she have to walk into mine?
There we go. Okay, anyway. They terrorize a bunch of people on the street before they go to the pizza place.
Well, on the way to the pizza place, one guy tries to scam him with 3-card Monty, and Leo cuts the table in half.
They could have just walked away from that guy. There was no need for that, Leonardo. That was excessive.
But yeah, they see someone else doing some tricks or something. Oh.
They just...
What is he? He's selling like fake teeth and fake Groucho
watches
marks,
or something.
Glasses.
Just why? Why do they have to attack all these people?
Oh no, they don't attack them. They just walk by them and verbally put these people down.
Listen,
the last one's a guy with a boombox on his shoulder.
You can attack with words.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's all about April getting their names wrong.
Right, because every person they see, a turtle either interacts with the person or asks April O'Neil a question, and every time she gets their name wrong. I don't know why this is here. This also felt like it took ages. I'm like, can we just get to the samurai pizza joint?
Oh yeah, and then they get to the pizza joint and they sit down and have pizza, and April's the one who goes off and investigates everything, and the pizza joint is shady AF, and they're all ninjas, and they've all got
shady because they don't have pepperoni, MC. How do they not have pepperoni?
They have 3 whipped cream pizzas and something else. I can't remember what the last one was.
Oh, MC. I'm looking at a transcript for the episode. And I've just discovered why Leonardo cut the 3-card Monty player's table in half.
He says for him to slice them.
He says, cut the cards, Slim.
Oh.
And so Leonardo cut the cards with his ninja sword.
There you go.
Everything makes sense now. Let's see. Ninja pizza. You're a bunch of ninjas in a pizzeria. 1 samurai pizza and 3 whipped cream pizzas. No, I'm sorry, sashimi pizza. 1 sashimi pizza.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then, for some strange reason, April walks into a security building, and she overhears a receptionist taking a call call from someone about
from
security.
a tech company. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, we secure a lot of tech companies. And then she's
And-
like, it's another one we can rob.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, as soon as she hangs up, she calls them suckers, says that they can rob them, and these, like, lumbering, like, foot soldiers come out with a security guard hats on and badges, and look like no one's gonna recognize that they're ninjas.
They also, though, are like, I mean, you can tell right away, like you said, they're lumbering. Their arms are too long and stuff. It's like something's up with these. I almost said they're spoilers. But like there was something wrong with them as soon as they walked out. But
Yeah.
I'm conflicted on this
I didn't
plot
want to
point.
say it, Troy. I
sorry.
didn't want to say what I was going to reveal it later when it shows up that they're actually. You ruined it.
I'll bleep out every time we've said so far, so they won't know what we've said. I'm conflicted on the plot point of them running the security company because at first I'm like, well, that's kind of a cool way to get access, and then I'm like, wait, if a bunch of security places or a bunch of tech companies have been robbed, and you run a tech company, wouldn't you not hire the security service that was protecting those other tech companies? I would think you would hire a different security service.
It's the late 80s. I don't think companies think like that back then. Like,
I think they probably did. If I wanted to get my shoes shined because somebody had been like scuffing up a bunch of shoes, I probably wouldn't go to the shoe shiner of the shoes that were scuffed. That was a weird analogy. I don't, MC,
Yeah.
stop.
I
Leave
don't
me
know where
alone,
you're going.
okay? Shh. So then they fight the.
actually, first April gets kidnapped from the roof.
Okay, you're right.
To the roof, and they're like, "Hey, April's been gone a while. Should we go find her?" And they trace down her wallet, her ID, and her purse, and they get up onto the roof. Then they fight.
I've bleeped that as well. So MC, what happens here is there's like 48 ninjas, and they're like, "Oh man, we're gonna have to fight these guys," and they start kicking them and fighting them, and then they're making like metal sound effects when they punch them. Why would that be, MC?
Because it turns out that if you hit one of them hard enough, they start short-circuiting because they're.
Oh, that was weird. It beeped. I couldn't hear what you said. What are they?
They're.
So it did it again. There's something wrong with my sensor tone. What are
They're
they fighting?
They're ninja.
Shoot, I just heard they're ninja something. I don't understand what's happening with this thing.
Ah, damn it.
Try
These ninjas start exploding.
Why
Because
would
of their
ninjas don't
innards.
because of their what? Ninjas
Their
don't explode, MC.
innards.
What?
This is a
Okay,
bad
go ahead.
joke.
Go ahead. I'll stop.
The robot ninjas.
Oh,
Are
they're
exploding.
robots. Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
The metal and the exploding, everything makes sense now.
But yeah, they all retreat to another building, jumping after they're getting their posteriors handed to them by the turtles. They chicken out and they run away. And April's like, how are we supposed to get across to there? Oh, wait, there's also the weird technology mixed with ninja art that the robots do that we didn't talk about. There's like a fan that does like some energy and a
Yeah.
ninja star that flies around in circles and
They have
weird
like
stuff.
laser ninja weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But-
our good old ninja boys don't have high tech weaponry like that. They just have. Oh, I was gonna use the name of the sword from Kill Bill, whatever the sword is that everybody's real into that sword, but I don't know what that sword is. I've only seen that movie once. That was a bad reference for me to try to make. But you know, it's
Oh,
been
I
folded,
can't
like,
remember the name of it
86
either.
times or something. It's a good sword.
Yeah. But
Listen, so here's the thing. MC, Leonardo, good sword.
Yeah.
Michelangelo, nunchucks. Oh, look at that chain link. That's a good chain link. Raphael, oh man, who forged your size? They're super cool. Donatello's got a stick. It's just a stick. It's just a stick. And he's the one who does machines. How come he's just got a stick?
I think later there's hydraulic whatchamacallit, and like they pop out, like he does that stuff, but
like a collapsible bow staff.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is this where they zip line?
Yeah, they zipline onto the other building to chase after the ninja robots.
I recently, and by recently I mean a year ago, watched the first episode of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show, which is currently on air. It's okay. It's weird because Raphael's the leader instead of Leonardo. But two things. One, that show, technology-based weapons, super cool. Also, totally do a zipline in the first episode. And when I was watching this, I was like, I think that zipline in the first episode of the new show was probably a reference back to them ziplining in the first episode of the original show. That's kind of neat. But we're not talking about that show, MC.
No.
We'll talk about that show eventually.
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 But they get into the building, they run down a few flights, they tell April to wait, and she's all puffed out, and she's like, that sounds good to me. And then they get down a fair bit, and Shredder sees them coming, and he's like, all foot members to the
Technodrome.
That's what it was.
It's such a good name.
I was like, it was something drome.
The turtles hear it over the loudspeaker, and they're like, I don't know what a technodrome is, but it sounds like we should go find out what a technodrome is.
Yeah.
Thank you, DM, for giving us this dangling thread for us to follow into our next session.
Red Hand Orcs.
What was that?
Nothing.
Okay. You can't give me hints about our D&D game in our TV podcast. It doesn't work. Also, I thought you said red-haired dorks, and I was like,
no.
Why are you being mean to people with red hair? What'd you Oh, orcs. Oh, red-haired orcs. Well, that's interesting.
No.
And then I was like,
Hand.
no, get out of it. Red what?
Hand.
Nah, I prefer red-haired orcs. My mouth just forgot how to form words. It was like red-haired orcs.
Let's get out of our D&D session and back into our TV podcast.
Yeah, let's get back into this TV podcast so we can get out of this TV podcast because we're at the end of the episode.
Oh, pretty much because Shredder decides that they're gonna flood the building.
Yeah. So the turtles there's this launching of the turtles run down all the stairs to try to get to the Technodrome. Shoot, that's a lot of water. Run back up all the stairs to get away from the Technodrome.
There's a scene in here where they're surfing on office furniture, which is pretty cool. I like that. And then they get back up to the roof and they pull the sword out of the ground and swing off of the building.
Which floods out from the top. So this building is watertight all the way up to the roof. And then the water comes pouring out of the roof of the thing. That's a good construction.
Except for at the end, it crumbles under the weight of it.
Well, that's a lot of water. Do you think that this building was built by Lindbergh from Biker Mice from Mars? Because I assume he and Shredder are BFFs. And Lindbergh builds all of Shredder's top secret hideouts.
It sounds like he might, but...
I believe we established in our Biker Mice from Mars episodes that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles exist in the Biker Mice from Mars universe, right? Because he said, what were you expecting, turtles?
Yeah, I think maybe they do.
I don't think we ever figured out, though, if they existed as fictional characters or if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are real. But I'm choosing to believe that they're real, and the Turtles are in New York, and the Biker Mice from Mars are in Chicago. That
sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But right at the end of the show, they bring back one of the robot ninjas' outfits, and Splinter's like, "Yep, that's the Foot Clan."
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Shredder's
Arokisaki is here.
Yeah, and Shredder watches the tape on the turtles and is like, "Yep, that's Yoshi's folks," and so they both know that the other is in town.
Yep. And it seems like they're determined to find each other and have it out.
Mm-hmm. And the turtles make some jokes, and April's like, don't you take anything seriously? And they're like, yeah, of course we do. And she's like, what do you take seriously? And they're like, I'll tell you what I take seriously. And she's like, okay, fine, what do you take seriously? And they're like, pizza. And she goes, okay, give me some banana and sausage pizza.
Yeah. Banana and sausage? Like, what is that?
MC, if you were going to make a terrible pizza for the Ninja Turtles, what would you put on it? I think I would have like a nice Alfredo sauce base, and then both Reese's Pieces and Skittles, and also garlic.
I mean, have you seen what is it? Ugly Food? Ugly Eats? Something like that. It's on Netflix. So in one of the episodes, they go to Japan, and there's this guy who does traditional like sushi, and he makes a pizza, and it's got corn and tuna, and like it's like a mayo based sauce, and it's like covered in oil. And I know what your face is displaying, but apparently it was delicious, and it's like sushi pizza.
I should have put a content warning on this episode for revolting food. Oh no.
I would give them that with sugar, with something sugary. So maybe Lucky Charms just thrown on top.
No, don't do that.
Fruit Loops?
No. Tune in next time when we talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 1, Episode 2, Enter the Shredder. Even though we've already seen him, so really it should be called Enter the Krang, because spoilers, Krang's in this one. And also Bebop and Rocksteady. It could be called Enter Bebop and Rocksteady as well. Really, it should be called anything but Enter the Shredder, because... I mean, Technodrome. We see the Technodrome for the first time. You could have called it Enter the Technodrome. But no, you called it Enter the Shredder.
Even though we've seen Shredder.
We've seen him already.
I guess technically the Turtles and Shredder haven't had an interaction yet. So if they have an interaction next episode, that would be appropriate. Just saying.
I can't think of what our theme song actually sounds like, but that's where it's going to start playing. It's right there. Goodbye!
Thanks for listening to the best animated shows ever, so far. Find the show on Twitter at BaseSFcast or email us at basesfcast@gmail.com. That's BASESFCAST. Our intro music is Funnin' and Sunnin', and our outro music is Motivator, both by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, and licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Thanks again for listening, and tune in next time.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
At Probably Work.
For more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.
Hi, I'm Evan, and I sure enjoy me some podcasts. Wow, this podcast sure is enjoyable. But sometimes, life has a little bit more pegged on for you than what you thought. Oh man, is that a missile? I'm okay. Thoughtscast, part of the We Can Make This Work Probably podcast network.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel so silly today.